benzos and for amphetamines. Oh, and THC. Damn, your parole is over.
Do y'all have secret ways of or
this shit's recording.
So they actually don't test it. And
Please.
No, so they come in little bottles. That are like
For the people who aren't here, this is how I keep track, so that way we get more participants.
I will delete that shit and restart over.
I'll edit it and cut it out.
All right, whatever.
I got you.
Are they listening?
Yeah.
All right.
I think.
What's going on, guys? We're gonna get started. So I'm assuming I don't know who else is watching. Hold on. Welcome, Gavin. Thank you for being late.
We have a lead session.
Yeah.
So this is going to be pretty quick and dirty. I'm not here to hold y'all up. I know it's Sunday on holiday weekend. We're probably only going to be going over this for 10 minutes, even though the facilitation form or whatever that Ryan sent me was like, you'll have individual discussions with each member of the current and former EC. Fuck that. We're not doing that. So big things that I want to talk to you about this are how to have an effective leadership transition. I talked to some of the older guys, and their biggest complaints were they had no freaking clue what their job was when they were starting. They just said, I want to be this, and I'm going to run for it. And then they got voted in without being told what their responsibilities were. And then the second thing was that the outgoing EC does not communicate effectively with the incoming EC, which is a problem that we're going to work on. So who all, you're on EC. Who else is on EC? 2. All right. What kind of issues?
I'm on EC.
Do what?
I'm on EC.
Okay, so.
And Parker's on EC.
Okay, so we got 4 then. So what are some issues that y'all had? Is it the same sort of deal that I just said?
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things where, like, yes, we had the materials and everything, but it was one of those things where, like, here, you have everything, go. There was no communication on how to do it.
Okay. So that's one of the big things in the facilitator notes that I read was that, I know, did any of y'all get binders? Did any of y'all get the binders?
No. We didn't get transition binders.
We're starting transition.
Yeah, we're starting
Okay,
in this year.
I saw the binders sitting on the table. In the facilitator notes, it really said that whoever is the current member or outgoing is what it said in the form. They should have everything documented about their chair. What did y'all do? Did it work? What went wrong about it specifically? You need to have all clearly laid out in your binder. Also, like you need to actually keep track of that. Because if you give somebody a folder at the start of their term as an EC member and you say, "Oh, fill this out," and then specifically, Jared told me that when he stepped in as a recorder, coming behind Chandler Henderson, I don't know if any of y'all know him, he had no clue what he was supposed to do, and Chandler didn't tell him to do anything. And not beefing with him or not shitting on him or nothing, but you can't expect somebody to succeed when you don't set them up for success. Another thing, y'all need to have a meeting. I know that y'all might not like some of your brothers if they're on EC and they've been bossing you around for a year. Tough shit. They know what the job is and they know what they're supposed to be doing. You need to have a meeting with them during these transition phases. Because if you're voted in and you don't have a fucking clue what you're doing, that they're basically the only person that's going to be able to tell you that. Because if not, you're going to be stumbling in the dark, and that can really fuck you over if you have somebody like a marshal. I don't know who the marshal is now, and them not saying nothing.
Cool.
So if you have a marshal that comes in and he doesn't know what his responsibilities are, all he's going to do is be like, all right, well, whenever the pledges show up, I'm going to take care of the pledges. No, he has to be pushing recruitment too. So you really need to have that clearly laid out. And then another thing, make sure that y'all are educating the new guys coming in about like what each position does, and not even if they're not running, because like younger people, like I don't know, are you the only potential that's here tonight?
I think so. Maui's also.
Oh, Maui, sorry. Y'all need to know what the EC positions do, because it's cool to be like, all right, yeah, Carlos is commander. He's head bitch in charge for the year. Got it.
Yeah, you're right about the bitch part.
Yeah, head bitch in charge. It's cool to know that, but you need to know what he does. Like you need to know like what he's responsible for on the PEP, what the recorder does during the actual day, how the treasurer manages your money, because you're paying what, $700 a semester now, whatever you're paying that money. I want to know where my money is going, and you should too. So it's really good to know what your EC positions are, even if you're not running, because if you decide that you want to run, or if you realize that something in the chapter is going weird, you can be like, hey, this is something that should be fixed during the next transition. So I'll open it up. Do y'all have any suggestions other than just maintaining the binders and effectively communicating to your new people?
The binders, that definitely is going to be a big thing. At that point, you now give them the resources and everything, and then they actually get to read on like what happened when you use that resource. Like, for example, with me and stuff, definitely the way how we transitioned into like summer into fall rush, that would be something I would be writing upon. Like what went down during the whole experience and how I fixed it and everything. And I feel like for the next, if something happens like that for the next commander, they'll be able to tackle it on head on. If not, then they'll have my contact information in the binder and stuff to get in contact with me, especially when I graduate.
And so, do you think the binders should be like a continuum? Do you think it should be one binder for position throughout the years?
I definitely think it should be the binder, but also have a backup electronic like drive also. So like say we have everything in our binder is scanned into a Google Drive.
Okay.
And so in case like, oh, I don't have my binder, well, you don't have that excuse anymore.
Okay, so you think like you should have your own personal binder for the year, but then that should also be backed up into like a long-term electronic
So in
storage.
case like in case it's like me, I can't give you an answer, then somebody else that has access to that drive can be like, oh, let me help you like pick stuff out.
Okay. Kevin?
I think like with effective communication, it shouldn't just be like you're about to step into this, so this is what goes down, and this is what I've done. Like I feel like it should be a continued direct communication with whoever knows what they're doing, or like widespread communication with someone who might know. Like I feel like oftentimes we forget that there are people that have done these things before that we can ask about.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of goes unsaid.
Which is fair, because
fumbling in the dark.
Because like even outside of the active chapter, like I know that you have Jarrett who and whatever is going on, I don't care. Jarrett was the commander before. You can still go ask him now. But also you have people that were there before Jarrett. You have Nubby, who was a kick-ass commander who kind of saved the chapter when he came in. It was really rough. Before him, you had Andrew Graves. No giggles. This is serious. I know. Whatever. You had Andrew Graves before, and then before that, you had Caden.
Yeah, Caden was really good.
So I mean, you got backlog, and even if these guys are old, not old, but they're alumni, you can go ask them because most of them are not going to be rude and be like, no, fuck you, I don't feel like talking to you.
You also talked to Torsten. He was a previous commander.
Oh yeah,
he's still in town.
Well, I was giving examples. I couldn't remember Torsten, but yeah, just don't forget that you have brothers outside of your active chapter, and they will answer you most of the time. Any other thing that y'all want to discuss? I'm just here to beat into your head that you need to talk to each other and keep notes.
Definitely gavel talk. I like gavel talk. Gavel talk needs to be something that needs to be brought around more often.
What is gavel talk? Is it like I have the talking tick?
Yeah,
shut up?
and like where you get to talk about your problems. Because I know one thing about it was like you're talking about talking amongst each other and stuff. And I feel like every time we've done gavel talk, it's been something very successful. Like we've been able to hammer out problems.
So gavel talk is like for talking between brothers.
It's like where we get in chapter. You get in a circle, and then whoever has the gavel, they get to speak on their problem, and then we just listen.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the aspect of being able to jump in with like questions about what they're going through, or like giving different insights on what's causing the problem or whatever. So
do you think that helps facilitate, resolutions of issues within the EC?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean that's good because you have not only do you have feedback from your older EC members teaching you, but you can have feedback from people who are in the active chapter who may not fully understand what you're doing, and you can say, "Hey, my dues went up. What the hell? This is stupid. Yeah. I only paid $500 last semester." And then you can sit down and explain to a younger member who might end up in that EC position. Well, our dues went up because our expenses have gone up, and this, that, and the other, and we're losing members. Like we have to raise stuff up. So communication is always good. What else? I'm not trying to hold y'all here all day. We're going on about maybe 10 minutes right now, so we're looking pretty good.
It's been a long run.
I know, right? It's taking forever. Anything else y'all want to discuss? People on video chat, I don't know if you chime in or if y'all just listening.
Nope, we're good.
Tony?
I would say just like, I think in general, we need to be better about like just being more open to trying things. Like, even if they're like more organizational type situations, like having the binders and stuff like that. I think a lot of us are really hesitant to even just attempt to do things that are new, like change things, like traditionally, I guess. So I'm just more willing to try new stuff.
And that's something that can come up in like the gavel talk discussions.
Yeah.
If you have a concern about how the EC is doing thing, you can raise that to them, and it might be it might be newer, but they can say, all right, well we can take that into consideration and talk about it. And if we think it'd be an effective strategy, we can change bylaws or policy or whatever we need to. All right. Anything else? So just running it down. I don't care how y'all want to do it, whether it's electronic or physical. Make sure y'all are keeping notes because that keeps the new guys from floundering. Like usually the EC is going to be older guys, but it's not always going to be older guys. Sometimes you have people like Martin, who's like his second semester, and then he's on the EC, and he's like gonna have to figure that out by himself.
And we have to kick him out when he graduates.
Yeah, and then get out. But yeah, so like make sure you're keeping these notes and you're sharing them, because there's no point in leaving your brother to flounder because it hurts him, it hurts you, it hurts the whole chapter. And then also just make sure you talk to the new guy. I don't give a shit if you fucking hate each other. Like there's been some people in the EC who are fucking assholes and you really don't like them. But if you don't know how they were running things, even if they were fucking it up, if you don't know how they were running it, you don't know how you can fix it. So yeah, basically just talk to your follower and the guy who was ahead of you, and yeah, cool. All right, cool. Tag out. All right, lead session over.
Yeah.
Lovely whiteboard that you bought.
Well, there was a lot of fucking questions that the thing was like you can talk about, and I hit a lot of them, and we didn't really have much disagreement or discussion.
So the lead session was on over accountability, right, and all that stuff.
No. So the accountability was the one that I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this.
Oh,
I
so
didn't.
you just did officer transitions?
Yeah, so officer
Okay.
transitions was more the thing that I was wanting to focus on.
Okay.
And in the facilitator notes, it literally, Tony, I know you ain't about to start playing Goddamn Smash. No, y'all are good. It's mostly gonna be like discussion about like the facilitator notes. They fucking left. Damn, son. They heard over and they were like, fuck yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It mostly covered. It was kind of weird because the facilitator notes that I read were really structured around taking place during a transition. So it was like, so set up individual meetings between all of the EC positions and then discuss that with the incoming members. And that's not really something you can do when it's been, 6 months since the old AC is gone. So
Yeah, we pretty much already learned it.
yeah, so I mean, y'all are kind of, settling into where you're going to be for the next year. And there's not much that me, some dickhead who never was on EC to start with, can help you with. And the facilitator notes were just kind of like,
fuck you.
yeah, fuck me. I was only here for
Fucking
you.
leech.
It basically,
Fucking leech.
it was like, make sure that notes y'all are good. I mean, I'm genuinely just going to talk casually now. So the guys on chat, if y'all
No,
need to
don't do
leave,
it, Thomas. Thomas, no. Thomas, no. Thomas,
if
no.
y'all want to leave, you can. This is kind of just going to be casual discussion. They're firing up Smash up there.
Thomas, no, stop.
Just make sure
Bad
y'all,
boy. Damn it.
I just wanted to make sure that you were actually talking to people and not just fucking them over by leaving them up high and dry. I feel like if y'all wanted to set it up with like an older alumni who's actually done some shit, Tony, go play. I'm just talking.
They don't work.
If y'all wanted to set it up with like an older EC guy who actually has done well, like David.
Oh
But,
shit, David.
I know my shit, fuck
I think he still lives in.
yeah, he lives over by Bojangles.
He works for the school.
But the thing is, yeah, he's very busy. He's making
true.
graphics for the football
I
team.
forgot he
But he's not gonna be mad if you're like, hey, I had a question about how you did things.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely. If it wasn't for Nubby, I definitely would have struggled the beginning of summer because Nubby, like, I mean, things happen. Of course, y'all know things happen, and I couldn't get in contact with you. So Nubby was my next one.
Bless you.
So me and Nubby was the one that kind of like walked me through the whole.
Yeah, so
summer.
that's one of the things that Jared suggested when I was talking to them earlier today. He was like, maybe you could set up like an alumni facilitated, I guess, interview between the guy who's going out and the guy who's coming in, because the alumni is going to be more level-headed. He's older. He's an old man at this point.
Both of you.
He's going to be pretty chill about stuff, and he can.
Yeah, he definitely helped me in the beginning just because like I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay. Hey, Evan, are you there?
I'm getting targeted.
I think he fell asleep when it started.
Damn, Evan, I'm sorry it was boring for you.
Is that down there still?
Yeah, he's still there. Evan is still there, but he's got it muted.
Evan Brenda or Waters?
Waters. He's the one I need to talk to.
About the car show?
No, about Sprout wanted me to call Aldot and something about getting our signs changed or whatever. But the Dr. Mile program.
Oh yeah, he's over fundraising.
Yeah.
Or no, he's over philanthropy.
So Sprout wanted me to call and ask them about updating our signs or whatever, and maybe organizing an event. And I've got their information, but do y'all know if we're supposed to be paying for that?
I thought we were, but I thought that was under the alumni.
Yeah. So Jarrett said he didn't know. He's like, I don't know if we pay for that or like whatever. And so I was wanting to get with Evan and Ryan. Ryan doesn't know if we pay for it. He doesn't think we do. And
Evan does not know what we
nobody's
pay
told
for
me.
it.
So I was going to hand off the numbers to call, because I had to call just some random dickhead at Aldot and be like, hey, who am I supposed to be talking to about this?
There he is. There he is. Hey, how you doing?
But yeah, I'll forward that to him.
Put those things away, boy.
Bro, bring out your toes.
What?
Bring out your toes. I got something for you.
Okay.
Okay.
So we
Bet.
did an experiment where we tried changing it to 15. I don't know
How'd
if
that
you
work?
yesterday.
I can
I'm not
tell.
gonna lie, I didn't talk to fucking nobody.
So much shit in